The Joe Rogan Experience.
Brad Pitt told me, Brad Pitt said that success is actually failure is actually one of the best things that can happen, because only failure gives you that kind of alone, isolation, downtime when you can really reinvent yourself in a significant way and create something remarkable again. That ongoing success becomes kind of a mediocrity. You really need to fail to fall out of the limelight long enough to produce something really strong again.
Totally makes sense. One of the best things that can happen to a comedian is bombing. When you bomb, that feeling is so bad. I always describe it as like sucking 1,000 dicks in front of your mother. But the difference is that there's probably someone out there who would enjoy sucking 1,000 dicks in front of their mother, but nobody enjoys bombing. So it's probably worse than that. But that feeling, whatever it is, reignites your appreciation for people's attention span, your appreciation for tightening up your delivery, your concepts, figuring out a better way to get them through. You never want to experience that again. And some of the greatest moments in my own personal journey of stand-up have come from eating shit. That's where they come from. You got to eat shit. I mean, it's great to do well. It's wonderful. Feels great. But those eating shit ones, those are the ones that get you to the Notebook again. Those are the ones that reinvigorate you, have you spending hours and hours in your hotel room, going over sheets of paper and checking out ideas, making sure these concepts connect together in some sort of a meaningful way, and figuring out how to tighten things and cut out the fat. When you're in this situation right now, and you're frantically writing now, and you know, and sort of forced into this element of creativity, this you're forced to be hungry again. I mean, I wouldn't wish it on you, but in a way, do you feel like it's kind of a gift?
Oh, yeah. In a way, you have to accept ultimately that everything is a gift, because it's always about what they call cognitive reframing. Cognitive reframing. Whatever happens, you reframe it in such a way that you recognize the value of it. And so, yeah, regardless of what happens, you know, before my father got murdered, he had been asking me for an introduction to Winona Ryder in 1998. And I kept on thinking, I am not going to introduce my father to Winona Ryder because I know he's going to hit on her. And I'm just going to be mortified to have my dad hitting on Winona Ryder. And he'd always talk about how pretty she was, and any chance I can meet her. And to tell the truth, when I got the word that my father had been murdered by a white supremacist in the mountains of Idaho, one of my first thoughts was, I'm off the hook with that Winona Ryder thing. And that's cognitive reframing. And you have to do it all the time.
That's glass half full right there.
And I love my father, but, you know, none of our relationships are completely perfect all the time.
Right.
So,
There's no way around it.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's, again, the great thing about unchained writing is that you can express those ideas. And that would be my main concern about any sort of a workshop or support group or any sort of group of like-minded peers that wouldn't understand that and that would want you to limit your language. I just don't. It just doesn't compute.
Yeah, and in the Platonic world, yeah, everybody should kind of get it. But unless you're ruffling feathers, even within workshop, you're not going far enough. You know, I loved writing that line in Fight Club where Tyler and Marla have sex for the first time, and the most romantic thing that Marla can say is, I want to have your baby. So what is the inverse? So, of course, Marla turns to him and she says, I hope I got pregnant because I really want to have your abortion. And that's the line that the movie studio went around and around. And even Brad Pitt said, you know, my mom's going to see this movie. I don't want her to see this line. And they shot that scene with so many different substitute lines. And then finally Fincher wrote the line. And Helena Bonham Carter says, I haven't been fucked like that since grade school. And at that point, 20th Century Fox said, can we switch it back to the abortion line? And so unless you're always kind of pushing to kind of, you know, until you get some pushback, you don't feel like you're pushing hard enough. And so pushback is not a bad thing. It's just kind of it's proof that you're doing your job.